Okay, yes, we do have two of the outstanding members of the 2019 Seton Hill University women's volleyball team with me on our post-game show. Tonight, we'll start with Taylor Sabol. Taylor, I thought tonight you were putting out those dimes from the high sets, the low sets, sets right there, back sets. You look pretty comfortable in your role, and you pretty much handled the setting tour tonight. Talk a little bit about how well things went for you on the court tonight.
I think things went really well tonight. I have a lot of good hitters to rely on, so I know if I put the ball up where they can hit it, they're going to put it away. So, I don't know, I give a lot of credit to my hitters.
Well, you should, but I want to tell you, some of those passes were just so just pretty to watch where you got it to them, and then the players were coming along and finishing it off. Talk a little bit about this year's team. You were part, as is Viktoria, of the team that had the best season in the program's history of Seton Hill volleyball. I kept mentioning throughout this is our first broadcast of the year what you guys accomplished last year. First undefeated season in the program's history. First PSAC tournament championship, which you had to beat the nationally ranked Gannon Golden Knights on their court in 5 sets. You come through there, you then go to the NCAA Atlantic Regional Tournament. You get to the first Atlantic Regional Final, had that 2-0 lead. I know you had to feel good about that, but against a team like that, Wheeling Jesuit, they battled back, heartbreaking 5-set loss. All first in the program. Now, that's last year. I'm sure Coach Hall has said that's what happened last year. You guys are going to find your own identity in 2018. Viktoria, talk a little bit about how last year was good, but how your team has to play better in this year if you're going to accomplish some similarly great things.
I do say we did really well last year. And going into this year, we have new players, new incoming freshmen that add on to our team. And at each year, we want to challenge ourselves to improve year by year. And as our coach says, we want to be cautiously optimistic about this season. We don't really know where it's going to go. We have a lot of hitters, people changing position, kind of trying out things. But once we click, we're going to keep improving as the games go on.
You just heard there from Viktoria Farian. Viktoria tonight, ho-hum, I guess. You end up match high 12 kills. You end up with 11 digs along with Cameron Burrell. What are you trying to improve most in your game? You're already the 2018 PSAC Volleyball Athlete of the Year. You got a lot to live up to.
Hitting-wise, I want to be able to switch up my shots more. I am a power hitter, but I want to be able to do different things with the ball and improve my hitting skills. And on defense, just want to be quicker, get quicker each year, each game.
Last year, you shared some of the setting duties tonight. I'm talking now to Taylor on this one, 37 assists. As you look at the season, what did you do to prepare, knowing that you might have the opportunity to do the lion's share of the setting position? Coach was telling me before the match, he's still not sure yet whether it's going to be a 2-setter or 1 attack. But how did you prepare, knowing you might have to handle most of the setting chores this year, your senior season?
I think I prepared a lot just getting ready to play front row. You know, throughout my time here, I haven't really been in the front row. I've always been on defense, setting from the back row. But I worked a lot on my blocking, a lot on setter dumps and everything. So that way, even though I would only have 2 hitters in the front, I could still use myself as an attacker. I think it was just a lot of confidence that I just needed to learn to have so I could run the offense just really smoothly.
Well, Taylor, just tonight, speaking of your offense, you had by my count 3 or 4 putaways there, which you had some nice, nifty, where you put it on a spot where they couldn't get to. So if you continue to work at that, and it seems like that's becoming a big part of whoever's setting for the Griffins, is to be able to be a bit of an offensive threat. Is that something that the program pretty much wants their setters to do?
Yeah, it's something I think that any setter that has to run a 5-1, like, they need to have in their skill set. You know, I don't think a lot of people expect a setter dump ever. You know, it's a second ball, so nobody's ready. So the more you do it, the more that you're going to keep them on their toes.
Well, I give you an A+ for your dumping.
Thank you.
Here tonight, Taylor. Let's talk about some of the young players. I thought Coach Hall tonight tried to get almost everybody. In fact, he may have gotten everybody into the match. The first 2 sets, no ties, no lead changes. You guys scored the first 5 points of the first set, the first couple points in the second, and you never got challenged. You had it in command. I think, though, and we'll ask you first on this one, Viktoria, the third set maybe you came out a little bit less focused than you had been, and they ended up eventually getting their first ties and lead changes in the match. And then Coach Hall called a timeout, and I was joking about it during the broadcast because I could see it coming. You know, I said, if another person makes a misplay, it doesn't matter who it was going to be, he's going to call his first timeout. He did, but what is it? He's like a prophet. He calls a timeout. You're down 3 points. You run off. You tie the match. You get the lead. There's no lead changes after that. So talk a little bit about what Coach Hall said in that third set when he called his first and only timeout of the match.
I think he called that timeout just to kind of calm us down. Throughout all 3 games, we actually stayed pretty calm, which I was surprised since it's our first home game. Even when they did get the lead, I thought everyone that was on the court just tried to reset, go back to basic skills, and from there we just pushed until we got the lead and kept it.
I saw a lot of players giving their bodies up to go after balls here tonight. I don't think there was not a player on the floor, whether front row or back, that was doing that. How important has that been ingrained in all the players' mind that you got to play defense? I don't care where you're at on the floor.
The main thing Coach Rick says is we need to be quicker. And being on the floor doesn't necessarily meaning be quicker, but if the ball comes up, that's all he cares about. And our main philosophy is don't let the ball hit the floor and go for it. Sacrifice your body. Just keep it up.
Taylor, give me some of your thoughts about some of the freshman players through the first now 5 matches of the season. Maybe share a little bit about what you've noticed about some of the freshmen.
Yeah, our freshmen are great this year. They come into the games whenever, Rick will look down the bench and just say your name real quick and you're going in the game. It's kind of a surprise every time. And every single time that they've lived up to the challenge, they go in right away and they get a kill or a block or Venera's good sets. They're really stepping up and really keeping up with the way that we want to go forward.
I'm going to ask you both this question as we're visiting with. You see to my right as I raise my hand, that is Viktoria with the K. Farian, and to the left is Taylor Sabol, 2 of the veteran members of this team that both played exceptionally well tonight. You guys were predicted in the preseason coaches poll. I know predictions aren't guaranteed of anything, but it does create some expectations on the team. You guys were predicted to win this division this year. You're already ranked in the top 10 in the Atlantic region. I think you're number 4 coming into the match tonight already. So high expectations there. How do you think the coaching staff and the players are going to respond? Because everywhere you go, particularly in the PSAC, everywhere you go, you did something that brought the notice to Seton Hill. They won the tournament championship. They went to where many teams go and lose to Wheeling Jesuit, but was in a position to win. So that's going to bring more attention to the team this year. How are you ladies and your teammates going to go about trying to deal with that expectation?
We don't care too much about expectations or rankings, but what we do care about is going into every single game like we have a target on our back. Like every single team is going to want to beat us. We're the team to beat. So we always have to remember that and bring our A game because nobody's going to, bring theirs.
No, they're going to come.
Yeah.
And we saw that even in the third set against this team when you kind of went down a little bit on your focus. You had to turn it on and come back and then pull away from them. And you did that tonight very impressively. Your thoughts on that subject about?
Like she said, we go into every game with a target on our back, knowing that we're going to get the best shot of every team that we play. But also with all the predictions this year, we just wipe that off. It's a new season. It's a new team chemistry, connections, and everything. And all we're trying to do is our best each and every game and take it one game, 1 point at a time, no matter who we are playing.
Well, when the best players are representing that, carrying that attitude and performance out, it's a lot easier for some of the players, that have not maybe established themselves to that same level to follow. And you two did a great job last season. And tonight, my first look at the team and the way you guys two performed, and when I was thinking about who I wanted to talk with about this first broadcast of the season, I thought both of you were kind of student athletes and deserved to be there. Good luck. My next broadcast will be October 1st, Tuesday night. You know who's in town?
Who?
Wheeling Jesuit University Cardinals. I gotta think we should have a pretty big student turnout tonight. I thought was pretty good to begin with, but I gotta think when Wheeling Jesuit comes to town after that match last year, I know I'll be excited when I come out to Seton Hill that night. But in the meantime, you guys have to think about this weekend. You're going to go to the state of Ohio for a couple of big matches. Good luck over at Findlay and against the other teams you're going to play next Saturday and Sunday. And thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That is Viktoria with the K. Farian and Taylor Sabol, 2 of the veteran members of this Griffin team. And that wraps up our broadcast for you tonight. This is Jonathan Whaley saying, for Marcus Wheatland, our videographer, thank you very much for tuning in and enjoying our coverage of Seton Hill University women's volleyball on the PSAC Sports Network.